It's not just that line. So take a look at this line here. It says, but the tens of millions of Americans who disappeared after 1492 did not all die in the, notice the same quotes, Holocaust inflicted within the Americas. Dane Calloway obviously changed the word Americans to Black Americans and then put in rather Indians. This line is directly from this book. And it then says hundreds of thousands were shipped to Europe and Africa as Indian slaves. Now take a look at the next line. It says many thousands were sent to Europe and Africa where their descendants still live. So what he's doing is he's taking bits of information, and then what he does is he changes some of the wording so that it looks like it's his and it looks like it supports his argument. Please keep in mind the name of the book is Africans and Native Americans. Clearly, the author Jack D. Forbes understands that there's a difference between Africans and Native Americans. He never claims that the people of African descent in the United States are actually the native people. Jack D. Forbes was a native person himself. So what Dane Calloway does is he pulls from sources, alters their information. He pulls verbatim from sources, alters their information to make it fit with his information. I'm not finished. That's just one line. Let's go further. A little further down in the article, you actually see, he says, and you'll see it actually is highlighted here, it is estimated that between 1650 and 1730, at least 50,000 Indians, and likely more due to transactions hidden to avoid paying government tariffs and taxes, were exported by the English alone to their Caribbean outposts. That same line comes from a website. It comes from thought.co. Do you actually see that he's actually pulling information from all of these sources? These lines are written verbatim. Verbatim. That's what he's doing. So I'm showing you that in this one article, those are at least two different places that he got this from. Two. Let's be very clear about this, family. What Dane Calloway is doing is he's cobbling together pieces from other sources, and then he's altering them to fit his argument. That is not scholarship. That is misdirection, it is misleading, and it's tantamount to lying. He is doing things that are dangerous to our community. He is misleading our community, and this is really, really wrong. You don't take someone else's words and claim that they're your own. That's what he's done. That's what he's done. So let's continue. Let's continue. So you saw that section comes from a thought.co article called The Untold History of American Indian Slavery. By the way, you need to be clear that they are also not arguing that people of African descent are Native American. So he's taking from these sources and they do not support his argument. Maybe this is because Dane Calloway can't write. If you've ever heard him speak, he puts together too many words. The way that he speaks in his documentaries is really cumbersome. The rest of it also comes from that source. Look at this, the extent of the Indian slave trade. He puts this picture of this woman. By the way, just because this woman has braids on the side of her head, what makes her a native? He's trying to actually mislead you with some of his pictures. Ask him even where the picture is from. And so look at the rest of where that article comes from. Once again, from the thought.co, the Untold History of American Indian Slavery source. Verbatim. Verbatim. The Indian slave trade covered an area from as far west and south as New Mexico, then Spanish territory, northward to the Great Lakes. Historians believe that all tribes in this vast swath of land were caught up in the slave trade in one way or another, either as captives or as traders. This comes directly from this source. He took it from someone else's article.
Are you telling me, Jabari, he's not citing where he got it from? Or because that's what he said in the video. He said, I always cite my sources. So he ain't citing it?
So listen, if you were going to cite this, first of all, this is a really large section to cite. You take in almost the entire article. You can't cite an entire article. But if you actually are citing it, it would be in quotes. You would see where it's from. He doesn't do any of that. He takes the work as his own. And then what he does is he manipulates occasionally a word or two so it sounds like what he's writing fits his article. It does not. It does not. These sources that you stole this work from, Calloway, do not agree with you. You are manipulating our people. You are manipulating our people. I'm sure that if we reached out to the author of this article, she would take action against you. Because unlike the Professor Avis J. Smith, this person is not a person of African descent, as far as I know. They don't have no love for you, Dane Calloway. Avis J. Smith is not taking action against you because he said you're a black man. That's what's happening here.